A captivating tale unfolds. My university days were about to begin when I bought a girlfriend. Just as long as she was by my side, I'd cover her family's medical expenses. That impoverished valedictorian endured humiliation and followed me. 5 years later, my family went bankrupt. At our breakup, she remained cold, not a word of pleading. Later, I became a karaoke bar waiter to pay off debts, while she became wealthy in the tech world, dating the campus heartthrob from back then. She asked if I regretted it. I didn't admit it, but I truly did. Years after graduation, I never imagined meeting her again in this drizzling rain. I hunched over like a startled rabbit, fruit platter held above my head, wanting to vanish. There, elegantly seated near Bella, was Ryan. The scene was picture perfect, a talented man and a beautiful woman. Bella coldly instructed, "Cut the oranges." Turning my back, I clumsily sliced oranges, some big, some small, unevenly. I remembered how much she used to love oranges. Back then, Bella always cut oranges neatly and beautifully. I naively thought it was love. Only later did I understand it was just her habit. When she cut oranges, she only thought of herself, not me. 4 years apart, like worlds away. I don't know why, but the customers started discussing college romances. Someone said, "I heard Bella had a 5-year-long relationship in college." My hand trembled as I cut oranges. Bella simply hummed in agreement. 5 years. A whole college life. Truly admirable. Bella fell silent. The other person awkwardly continued. Loving for 4 years must be unforgettable. The atmosphere seemed to freeze for a moment. Bella smiled faintly. Not that unforgettable. Bella is being kind not to hate him, Dylan calmly explained. Bella and I, remembering the past, it really wasn't easy. If it weren't for an ex causing trouble, Bella and I wouldn't have waited until now to be together. That's right, Dylan is a star now. How can an ex compare to a star? The atmosphere livened up again. I quickly lowered my hat, wishing to escape. Unexpectedly, the fruit knife slipped, cutting my hand. I couldn't help but groan, instantly drawing everyone's attention. How can you be so clumsy? Can't even cut fruit properly, Dylan complained. Sorry, I'll change to a cleaner plate, I said, picking up the tray, intending to slip away. Wait, Bella suddenly called out, each word distinct. Turning around, I was petrified, unable to move. 1 second, 2 seconds. Just then, the manager appeared. Sorry, this colleague is new and still unfamiliar with the work. Today, all fruit platters are complimentary. The manager gestured for me. Hurry and get another tray. Only then could I leave. Afterward, the manager told me, next time, be quicker. Everyone starts as a newbie. If there are complaints, tonight's work is unpaid. Thank you. No need to be polite, manager. That VIP room needs special attention. Inside are all VIPs, especially the most beautiful young woman in the middle. She's the boss of a new tech company. None of us dare offend her. Manager, I'm so scared. Can you help me bring in the oranges? All right. I breathed a sigh of relief. If there's anyone in this world Bella truly detests, it's me. I am the ex-boyfriend she hates most. I remember that year, Bella, wearing faded, old clothes, stood among the new students, completely out of place. She was so poor everyone could see it, yet still proud and extraordinarily different. I loved her cold tone when she spoke, and the way her eyes lowered when she looked at me. Bella was so poor she was penniless. Her poor student allowance was even snatched away by a relative of the advisor. So, one evening, I pounced like a hungry wolf, grabbing her hand. Bella, I like you. Be with me. I have money. We can share living expenses. If not, just one kiss, and I'll pay you too. Of course, I was rejected. Back then, everything went smoothly for me. I'd never known failure. The more she refused, the more I pursued. Until her uncle fell seriously ill, I unhesitatingly paid all the hospital fees. Only then did Bella bow her head to me. I naively thought I'd done something great. It was much later that I understood I had gained her, but also ruined her. After we were together, she still worked part-time every month to make a living. She barely used my money, but the situation worsened. Rumors spread in school. Everyone said she sacrificed herself for money. The way classmates looked at her changed. They even gave her nasty nicknames. At that time, I was still naively optimistic, holding her hand, saying, "Ignore them. They're just jealous." I lived in my ivory tower, completely ignorant of Bella's struggles. Senior year, My family suddenly went bankrupt, but I hid it from her. I coldly said, "Let's break up, I'm bored." She only numbly replied, "Okay." I even removed my SIM card, deleted my WeChat account, boarded a train to work as a laborer to pay off debts, leaving my hometown. 3 months ago, I returned to this city, both familiar and strange. Now, Bella is successful and radiant. In college, she was the top student in 3 schools. 5 years later, she's become a tech industry talent, even on financial magazines. Ryan, the campus heartthrob from back then, debuted in his 3rd year. Unexpectedly, they're now together. My chest tightened, a bitter feeling surging like a tide. At 4 a.m., I was the last to leave work. My colleague, thinking no one was around, turned off the elevator early. I anxiously pressed the elevator button repeatedly, hoping for a response. Calling for a colleague? Bella's cold voice echoed behind me, like a robot. The elevator door opened. Bella and I stepped into the narrow space. "Working late." Her voice was icy. "Customers haven't left, so we can't leave." "High salary." "Enough." I lowered my head, hat pulled down, almost covering my face. Bella didn't seem to recognize me, chatting casually for a few sentences, then looking at her watch. "This elevator is so slow. My boyfriend must be worried. He's clingy and whiny." My heart ached knowing she was talking about Ryan. "And you work so late. Doesn't your girlfriend come to pick you up?" "I live nearby." The elevator doors opened. I bolted out like a horse released from its reins. "Running." Bella, who had been silent, suddenly angrily shouted, "Where are you running?" "Disappeared for 5 years. Playing hide-and-seek is fun, huh?" "Ethan." Bella stepped closer, no longer the naive teenager of the past, now mature and composed. "WeChat deleted. Phone number also is 0. Even teachers couldn't find you, Ethan. You're really something." I slowly raised my head, meeting her gaze. "You definitely investigated, right?" "My family went bankrupt. My dad got into economic trouble. Still hasn't paid off the debts." "Why didn't you tell me back then?" I opened my mouth but couldn't speak. "Because I felt ashamed, the young Master Ethan." Before I finished, Ryan appeared gracefully. "Ethan, it really is you. Everyone's been looking for you." He was even more handsome than in college, radiating so much light, even his hair seemed to glow. "Long time no see, classmate. Where have you been for the past 4 years?" "No news at all. I went south." "No wonder." Ryan looked at the down jacket I was wearing, his expression full of surprise. "Ethan, isn't this the one you bought in your 3rd year? It's torn and shedding feathers, and you're still wearing it." I used to only wear clothes for a year before discarding them. He clearly wanted to embarrass me, but I was used to it. Clothes that aren't broken can still be worn. Ryan pretended to understand. "You're having a hard time, huh? Why didn't you say so sooner? Old classmates can help you." He pulled out a card. "Take this. No need to repay. Consider it a gift." "Thanks, no need." I looked at him, then at Bella, smiling faintly. "I'm getting married soon. Remember to come." Bella looked as if struck by lightning, frozen in place. "Technician is just my part-time job. I still have a main job during the day." The next day, the company welcomed a major client. Colleagues buzzed with excitement. "Heard this client is a genius. He's making a system just to find someone." "Find who?" "Probably an ex-boyfriend." My heart twinged, a bad feeling creeping in. "Found them yet?" "Not sure. The system isn't complete yet. Lots of big shots investing. Bright future. Our boss also wants to cooperate." I sorted documents, walking to the reception room door, hearing Bella talk about cooperation. "I'm considering it." I pushed the door open, placing the documents on the table. Bella stared at me, wide-eyed. "Why are you working here?" "This is my main job." The boss curiously asked, "Bella, do you know Ethan?" I hesitated for a moment, then replied, "Met before. Just met before." Bella flared up. "I really don't understand. The day we broke up, you turned around and left without looking back, wasn't it you?" She pointed at me, saying to the boss, "Director Lee, I can sign the contract, but you have to transfer Ethan to be my assistant." The boss agreed without hesitation, not giving me a chance to object. They discussed terms all day. In the late afternoon, I packed my bag, ready to leave work on time. Bella blocked me. "Where are you going?" "I haven't told you to leave yet." "Bella, I can't work overtime today. I have something to do." "What are you doing?" "Delivering food." Bella looked at me in disbelief. I used to be so arrogant I'd never touch delivery, But throughout our 5 years of college, Bella would go deliver food after class, often eating company meal boxes. Once, I found her in a cramped room, sitting with a group of delivery drivers eating meal boxes like starving wolves. I frowned. Bella, you eat this? How dirty. She was flustered, muttering, dirty or clean, does it matter? Let's go eat steak with me. I dragged her, running to a newly opened restaurant, averaging 500 yuan per person. She stood silently outside the restaurant door, quietly smiling. Delivery uniform, now reduced to this state. Finally, I understood her mood back then. Like today, snow fell heavily, the ground slippery as ice. I fell hard, in excruciating pain. Food spilled everywhere. I called the customer to explain, but was cursed out. The customer yelled, "Don't make excuses. Late is late." My palm burned with pain in the freezing cold, but I could only repeatedly apologize. Bella suddenly appeared, lifting my scooter. I didn't know when she arrived or how long she'd been watching. I frantically hid my hand behind my back. Hide what? Her voice was hoarse, eyes red-rimmed. Go wash it quickly. I have to deliver first. I delivered to a customer on the first floor. As I handed over the food, the customer muttered, "A delivery guy, and still doing delivery." I was about to take the next order. Bella immediately forbade me. No more. No more deliveries. Tonight, I earned so little. How will I buy anything? Ding. The system automatically accepted an order for her. I'll buy your time tonight. Bella drove me home. I stood frozen at her door, not stepping inside. Dylan will be angry. Bella glared at me. You're already like this, still care about what others think? Look at yourself, you fell so badly. Your body, besides your scratched hands, is all dirty water and blood. And Ethan, look around. Does my house look like it's ever had a man living here? We're not together. I've never been with him. Bella threw a contract at me. 6 months ago, he approached me for cooperation. He didn't want to be subjected to unspoken rules, asked me to pretend to be his girlfriend. He also helps me deal with difficult clients. She paused, afraid I wouldn't understand, explaining, some clients just want to sleep around. Men think everyone can tolerate this crap. Disgusting. Dylan helps me block this. The contract clearly states, no interference in each other's personal life. Bella pulled my hand, treating my wounds. I saw a row of unopened hand cream boxes on the shelf, the brand I used to love. Bella bought a whole set to keep at home. Today I asked your colleague about you. Her voice lowered. You don't have a girlfriend? At the team building last week, you said you were single. Ethan, you deliberately lied to me, didn't you? I didn't lie to you. Then show me the photo you took with that girl. No group photos. You like taking photos so much. Didn't take any with your new girlfriend? Okay, you reminded me. Next time I take photos, I'll show you. Bella was so angry she was both crying and laughing. She propped her hands on the sofa, completely enveloping me. Pressure surged. I was so scared I didn't dare move. Through the sweater, I could feel the heat from her. I've bought your time. Do you know what to do? I'll pay you. Bella, I'm really getting married soon. She let her hand slide from my shoulder down to my wrist. Getting married soon, yet still wearing a bracelet your ex-girlfriend gave you? Doesn't make sense, does it? On my wrist was a worn-out, faded bracelet. It was the first gift Bella gave me when I was 19. There was a week I barely saw her outside of class. She worked like crazy, doing all sorts of part-time jobs. My birthday that year, my parents held a party at a fancy restaurant. I told Bella, but she didn't come. I waited and waited until evening, receiving a call from her. She said she was waiting for me at the restaurant entrance. Snow fell heavily. My girl stood straight as a poplar tree. She looked as tired as I did now, a yellow delivery uniform stained with mud. Back then, I didn't understand anything, only blaming her for being late. Bella ruffled my hair, taking out a birthday gift, a bracelet. It was a basic model, not expensive, but for her, it was completely beyond her financial means. I loved it, immediately putting it on my wrist and never taking it off. Later, my parents called, asking who I was talking to. They disliked Bella, feeling she wasn't worthy of me. When I turned back, Bella had vanished into the snow. Until today, sometimes I wonder, at 19, she must have liked me, right? That bracelet, she worked day and night to buy it. Back then, was she like me now, wading through the snow, falling countless times, still determined for that bracelet? But now, she was coercing me. In her house, there were still those luxury items I used to love. Did she really not forget her old love, or just want to humiliate me? My mind was in turmoil. Unknowingly, my eyes were wet. Bella saw this, instantly panicking. She always didn't know what to do when I cried. This was still the same as before. She hastily wiped the tears from the corners of my eyes, stammering, "Don't cry, don't cry. I was wrong. I just wanted to scare you. Today is your 26th birthday. I bought you a new bracelet. Look, do you like it?" She prepared to replace the bracelet for me. Just then, the doorbell rang. Olivia stood at the door, shivering in the cold, loudly saying, "Ethan, I'm here to pick you up." "Who is she?" Bella asked, stunned. "I'm his fiancée. He didn't tell you?" Olivia immediately declared. The bracelet fell onto the carpet. I left with Olivia. She slammed the car door, continuously smoking, making me cough. Olivia and I had known each other before my family went bankrupt. She had confessed to me many times, but back then, my heart only had Bella, and I rejected her each time. Last week, she suddenly found me, saying as long as I married her, she'd help me pay off my debts. I asked why. She smugly said, "I want to prove that you chose the wrong person that year. The one who can save you is only me. That poor little thing could only make you suffer." So, she wanted to marry me just to satisfy her savior complex, just to teach me a lesson. How ridiculous. Today, I only wanted her to help with a small favor, to call so I had an excuse to leave. Who knew she'd come in person? I angrily looked at her, coldly saying, "Why did you pretend to be my fiancé?" Olivia nonchalantly replied, "What's the difference? You'll marry me anyway. I haven't agreed to you yet. Do you have any other choice? Wake up, young Master Ethan. That's piling up. Whoever marries you is unlucky, except for me. Who else wants you? That girl just now." Olivia looked disdainfully. "Is that your poor college girlfriend? Let me tell you, she definitely came back to humiliate you. Back then, she was suppressed by you, didn't dare to say a word. Now you're down and out. Who knows how much she's laughing at you in her heart. But it's not her turn either. Why isn't it her turn? Back then, she stole my man. Now I can't get back a little justice. Olivia, I'm not your object." I resolutely got out of the car. Olivia didn't stop me. "Whether you agree or not. Ethan, think carefully about your family." Her mocking face made me unconsciously recall those who used to spread rumors about Bella. In Bella's heart, was I also like them? Returning to the karaoke bar, news of my family spread among classmates. Leo contacted me again. He was getting married, asking if I wanted to be his best man. This was once our promise. Whoever got married later would be the best man for the first one. At Leo's wedding, many old classmates came. I reconnected with them one by one on WeChat. Leo, in a suit, eyes glistening with tears. "Ethan, I always thought you'd be the first among us four to get married. I told the manager if I got married, who would be my best man. He poked me playfully. You still dare to say it. Disappeared for 5 years, scared me to death. I hurriedly apologized. I was wrong. I was wrong. I won't leave again. I'll stay and make it up to you." Only then did Leo smile. "Why did you disappear like you evaporated back then? If you had difficulties, you could have said so. We could all have helped you." I lowered my head, looking at my shoe tips, silent. My life was like being struck by lightning. My whole life collapsed instantly. That feeling was like walking on a cliff edge. One step and you fall straight down. I curled into a corner, head buzzing, completely lost, not knowing what to do. The gaze of others, even just a little pity, was like a knife stabbing into me. In a panic, I gritted my teeth and deleted all contacts. Leo sighed helplessly. "Bella went crazy looking for you." "What?" I widened my eyes, face full of shock. "You really didn't know? She used every means to find you. Teachers, school, almost called the police. Someone poor like you back then didn't have many connections, couldn't find you. She recklessly went to your house." Leo looked at my expression and continued. "You also know she's very afraid of your parents, but still mustered all her courage to go. Who knew your whole family had vanished without a trace? Even your parents were gone. It was the first time I saw Bella so desperate. She sat slumped in front of your house, crying miserably, like she'd lost her soul. Later, heard you might be in the south. She immediately went to look, but still couldn't find you. Where exactly were you hiding?" I said in a low voice. "Guangzhou, then Chengdu, then Kunming, so many places. My family was always being chased for debts. We had to change our names, moving almost every half-month. Leo murmured. No wonder she couldn't find you. Anyway, eventually she returned to Beijing, started making that data system to find people. I was full of doubt. I always thought Bella didn't care. Before graduation, I overheard her talking to a female roommate. Her roommate asked, "What are you planning to do after graduation? Will you marry Ethan?" Bella coldly replied, "No." That moment, I felt like I'd been struck by lightning. Not long after, my family declined. I decisively broke up with her. She didn't even plead. But now, she was searching for me everywhere? Was it because losing something makes you realize its value? My head was a mess. At Leo's wedding, when the bride threw the bouquet, I absent-mindedly didn't catch it. The bouquet didn't go astray, falling right into Bella's hands. She excitedly shouted, "This girl received the wedding bouquet. Congratulations, congratulations. Soon, good fortune will arrive. Will you give it to your boyfriend, or no need to trouble yourself?" Bella walked straight to me, handing me the bouquet. The whole hall erupted in cheers, like they wanted to burst the roof. Leo also excitedly yelled nonstop. I stood there, flustered, not knowing what to do. Accept or not accept? "Bella, you've met my fiancé already." I blurted out, even though it was a lie. I don't believe my eyes are that bad. Bella's gaze was full of determination. "Just consider my eyes bad then. I can take you back even if she's real." Bella leaned slightly, whispering in my ear, "Then dump her and come back to me." Her gentle voice was like a spell, full of enchantment. I almost surrendered, just a little bit more. After all these years, Bella still made my heart race. After the wedding, old friends came to find me for drinks. I carelessly drank too much. I only remember vaguely running to the stairwell, sitting there, regardless of how noisy it was outside. The stairwell was always the quietest place. Bella found me, frowning, asking, "What are you doing here?" I turned to look at her, then burst into tears. "Bella, I'm so tired." Bella took me home. On the way, I cried the whole time. Unable to walk when we got out of the car, she silently scooped me into her arms. "I'm so tired. Every day I have to work. When will it end? Yesterday a customer spilled wine on me. It was so unfair. Clearly not my fault. Bella, I want to eat salmon and sweet shrimp. I'm almost forgetting the taste." In my drunken ramblings, I talked nonsense nonstop. Bella patiently coaxed me, but I couldn't hear anything. In the end, I only remember her placing me on her sofa. She asked me, "What's so good about that girl?" I drowsily replied, "She helps me pay off debts." "I can too, Ethan. I'm better than her. I know your preferences, know how to make you happy." "Ethan, I beg you, don't disappear again, okay?" I don't remember what happened after that. The next morning, I woke up in Bella's bed, naked. The dining table was full of sashimi and a plate of oranges, neatly and evenly cut. Bella said, "I took a day off for you. No need to go to work today." I just sat up, then jumped up again. "You took a day off for me? You told my boss." "Yeah." "What did you say to my boss?" "What will my boss think? It's all true between me and you. What's there to misunderstand? I heard you quit programming because of your part-time job. Your boss isn't happy, right? Programming has more overtime. I do more part-time jobs, earn more. Your boss doesn't agree. Next month, go back to programming. Quit all part-time jobs. Boss doesn't allow objections." "No way. I haven't written code for so long. I've forgotten everything." "Boss won't give up on you. I'll teach you." She lowered her head, attentively peeling shrimp, dipping it in sauce, placing it in my bowl. That image reminded me of the past. Back then, there was also someone who always meticulously peeled shrimp for me like this. In college, I was terrible at programming. Luckily, I had a genius girlfriend who tutored me for free. Remembering this, I almost couldn't remember anything else. Bella wrote a few lines of code on paper, handing it to me. "This is the basics. I'll help you remember." That moment, time seemed to rewind. The image of a gentle girl lecturing reappeared. After the meal, I went home alone, sitting blankly on the subway. Suddenly, I received a WeChat message from Ryan. "Ethan, don't hurt Bella anymore." I was full of doubt. What does he mean? Over the years, she's always wanted to repay you. Repay what money? Next, he sent a screenshot of a group chat from college dorm days. Bella said, "Debts are all paid off," finally breathed a sigh of relief. Everyone congratulated her. Finally free from the burden, soul is liberated, haha. I was instantly stunned. Immediately after, a debt payment notification was sent. The debt had been paid off, but the payer was Bella. My whole body froze, the hand holding the phone trembling nonstop. Recalling everything that had happened, Bella frantically searching for me. The words in the stairwell when we reunited, everything that had happened, including last night. It turned out everything was just to repay the debt. When I was a technician, Ryan said she hated me. Maybe that was the truth. Bella didn't like being in debt to me. That had become a huge burden in her heart. Sadness like a tide engulfed me. I didn't know who to blame. 8 years ago, I myself had placed her in an unequal position. Now it was hard to change. Anger surged. I trembled, texting Bella. Who allowed you to pay off my debts without permission? Paid off, isn't it better? So you don't have to do so many part-time jobs anymore. I don't need it. Ethan, don't be stubborn. The money for your dad's medical expenses, I should have returned it to you long ago. Her words once again pierced me. I'll save money to repay you. From now on, besides work, don't contact me anymore. Bella called countless times. I didn't answer any. I took a day off, locking myself in the bedroom, drowsy, wanting to make up for the sleep deprivation of all these years. The next day, Mom told me. Bella stood downstairs all night. I went to work by subway. Bella abandoned her car, taking the subway with me. In the evening, I went to work part-time as a technician. She booked a small room, sitting at the door like a statue. Wherever I went, she followed. It went on for days. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Don't follow me anymore. If I don't follow, you'll disappear again. Bella counted on her fingers. Disappear to another city. Disappear in the stairwell. Not answer the phone. How can I be at ease? I promise I'll repay the debt. Won't disappear again. People should have a little trust, right? Bella frowned. I said I don't need you to repay, but she was still like a shadow, always following me. Until Friday, she didn't appear. Ryan angrily called. Bella beat someone up. Ethan and Bella didn't sit at the same table, but trouble still quietly arrived. Olivia, this wealthy lady, while everyone was discussing the missing neighbor, she kept making sarcastic remarks. Mr. Ethan has a son named Ethan, extremely handsome. Couldn't pursue him before, now it's easy. His family is in debt, and I agreed to help him pay it off. He'll obediently follow me. Men, spend a little money to buy them home, definitely not a loss. Before she finished, Bella, like a leopard, pounced, punching Olivia hard in the face, right in front of many people in the industry. She had beaten up Miss Olivia of the Lee family. Outside the clinic, Ryan angrily blamed me. Ethan, if you can't help her, don't harm her. I coldly laughed. Ryan, what right do you have to question me? Ryan was instantly stunned. I continued. Aren't you two just cooperating? Shouldn't interfere in each other's personal lives. Ryan's face was incredulous. She even told you that. After a while, Ryan's eyes reddened, full of grievance. Ethan, Bella and I, although it's just cooperation, I sincerely like her. You've disappeared for so long. Just disappear for good, and give her back to me, okay? You like her? Yes. This surprised me immensely. But weren't you the one who led the rumor-mongering about Bella at school? Ryan's face instantly turned pale. I just disappeared, not lost my memory. I coldly looked at Ryan. After Bella got together with me, you even blocked me in the men's restroom and asked, how much did you spend to bag Bella? Ryan panicked. I don't remember. Later, someone even called her Prime Rib. This nasty nickname also came from you, right? No, not me. Don't talk nonsense. I don't understand your entertainment industry rules, but if the story of a star bullying a classmate gets out, what will your fans think, Ethan? Ryan raised his voice. You're fabricating, right? Then I'll call a few classmates to testify. Ryan immediately deflated like a punctured balloon. Please, Ethan, how much do you want? I'll pay. Don't mention this again, and don't tell Bella. Back then, I was young and ignorant, hurting her, but now I sincerely like her. I can make it up to her. Until now, you still think it's just hurting her? Ethan helplessly shook his head. Ryan, you also hurt me. I'm sorry. Ryan frantically pleaded. Please, Ethan, don't tell Bella. Don't ruin my image in her eyes. Before he finished speaking, the clinic door was suddenly pulled open. Bella stood silently by the window. It seemed she'd been standing there for a long time. Ryan was chased away, lost and soulless, staggering, like his whole body had lost its vitality. Bella wasn't the forgiving type. She deeply hated those rumors from that year, naturally wouldn't let Ryan off easily. Bella rarely swore, but as a top student, she was eloquent and sharp-tongued. No need for vulgar words. She could still make people feel excruciating pain. Ryan probably wouldn't dare to show his face in front of her ever again. Are you okay? I looked at Bella. A small wound, all treated. Won't affect your company, right? Bella lightly raised her chin. Don't worry, small matter. But Olivia needs a few stitches. That's already lenient. Should have let her be disfigured. Bella chuckled. That's more like you. What's more like me? This is the real you. How long has it been since you were this direct? Say more, I want to hear. Damn it, doing business is all scams. And the price of pork is rising again. How are we supposed to live like this? Great, keep talking. Add what the hell is this overtime for? I just want to stay home, watch TV, and sleep. Are you complaining to me? How dare I? Sunlight stretched across the snowy ground. We talked and laughed, feeling like we were back in college. I poured out all the emotions that had been pinned up for years, talking and talking. Then tears naturally flowed. Wait for me, okay? I'll definitely pay off all the money for you. Bella instantly panicked. What are you saying again? And why were you suddenly so angry just now? I paid off your debts without permission. It was my fault, but you can't ignore me either. Do you see me as a burden? How dare I see you as a burden? Bella frowned. Who said that? Ryan? Wait, could it be he deliberately tried to drive a wedge between us? But screenshots can't be faked. I quickly pulled out the message history. Bella looked at it, her face darkening. I wasn't talking about you. Bella took out her phone, opening a chat log. It turned out she was telling her roommate she had paid off a supermarket project debt for the company. Only then did those other chat logs come about. Somehow, this message ended up in Ryan's hands, its meaning completely distorted. But how did he know you planned to help me repay the debt? He has experience helping others repay debts. I just casually asked a bit. Bella drove me home. This was the third time I came here, but my mood was completely different from before. By the way, let's make everything clear today. Bella poured me a cup of coffee. Ethan, I have many questions to ask you. Ask away. Why did you break up with me? Did I become a burden? Or did you break up because you were bored? Bored was the word I said when we broke up. Just hearing this, Bella turned to leave, extremely decisively. Her voice lowered. I always thought you saw me as a toy. After 5 years, you were bored of playing with me. Plus, my family had problems. I couldn't help you. So you dumped me? How could she think that way? I gaped, but before I could explain, Bella quickly continued. Even if that's the case, it's okay. She seemed afraid to hear my answer, immediately revealing her final card. Ethan, I've thought it through. Even if I'm just a toy, I still want to be by your side. Bella's eyes were bright, just like back then. It took me a long time to digest her words. Then I opened my mouth. You misunderstood. Bored was just words said in anger, Bella. I never saw you as a toy. I truly loved you. Why did you say that before graduation? You told your roommate you wouldn't marry me. Hearing this, Bella was stunned. She thought for a moment, then chuckled, both angry and sad. At that time, what I meant was, just graduated, I didn't have the ability to get married. Actually, I had started looking at rings a long time ago, just didn't have enough money to buy one. We compared all the misunderstandings, finally realizing we had both misunderstood each other. Why did it turn out like this? The root cause was still the huge gap in reality. Bella thought I helped her just to find amusement, and I thought she was with me because of debt of gratitude. We didn't believe the other person truly loved us. Back in the present, Bella asked, Ethan, why would you rather accept Olivia's help than mine? Because I like you. I don't want to turn our relationship into that kind of thing. I suddenly understood. Bella nodded. That's right. That year I thought the same thing. Wait, when I confessed to you, you also liked me, right? Right, Ethan. I liked you even earlier than you liked me. The first day of enrollment, you said your name was Ethan. I already remembered it. Bella's story made me realize my own naive version of that year. It turned out she had been moved by me, just confessed a little later, and my way of showing goodwill from the beginning was wrong. I had used what she lacked most to take advantage of her. It was really hard for her to open her mouth. She had said many times that she liked me. Only others didn't believe it. Everyone thought her words were fake, that she was just using sweet words to coax me. Over time, I had believed it, and even she herself almost believed it. Did she like Ethan or my dad's medical expenses? Countless times being ridiculed, countless times realizing the gap between us. After each realization, Bella became even more unclear about her own feelings, conflicted and tense day by day, punishing herself. Anyone could help her, only I couldn't, because money had changed the feeling. If Bella wasn't so stubborn, she could have rested easy by my side. But she didn't, because she wasn't like that. She was the girl I liked. Bella took an orange and started cutting. Slowly, I suddenly remembered our reunion. What was the meaning of her words? You can say angry words, I don't dare to scold you. I thought you were bored of playing and dumped me. You even disappeared for 5 years, like deliberately avoiding me. I don't even have the ability to have children. Seems like I can, but Ryan said she hates me. Sorry, that was my fault. No time to retort. Bella took the last orange slice from the packaging, sighing softly. Anyway, I thought you really didn't want me anymore. Outside the window, snow was falling again. At that moment, I was finally certain. In the river of time, the girl was catching up to me. At the university anniversary, Bella and I both returned once. She, as an outstanding alumnus, was about to go on stage to speak. The university was still the same. Only the youthful faces changed with each class. There were always young people, always people full of passion for ideals. A graduate student's badge fell out of my pocket. A freshman picked it up for me, surprised. Senior, are you Ethan? I know you. I'm interning at Bella's company. You're famous in our company. Really? I had been to Bella's company once, just sat at the reception desk waiting for her. When the receptionist recorded my name, she also had a similar reaction. Are you Ethan? Only today did I know why. The freshman student said, the company has some project. Heard there's a basic core algorithm. Heard Bella just created this system. She wrote a note when developing the system, saying if you meet Ethan, tell him, I love you. Anyone who accessed the algorithm could see this message. I stood stunned for a long time, only hearing the freshman student happily say, that's great. She finally found the person she wanted to find. After the speech, Bella and I strolled along the familiar campus paths. We walked to the library gate. Bella looked at the big tree on the left. You confessed to me here back then. Yeah, I remember. Back then, you really looked down on me. Memories seemed to drift far, far away. Bella, were you happy in college? You had to work so hard. You were slandered. You also felt lonely. I thought you weren't happy. But Bella said, I was very happy. Because you were by my side. Pain turned into happiness. She turned, just like back then, looking at me with big, round eyes. Ethan, now let me say it. It's my 9th year liking you. Please give me a chance, okay? The sky began to snow again, snowflakes falling on her head. I smiled, saying, Happy New Year, and all the best. Happy New Year, my youth. Though there was still a little regret, we were always the best versions of ourselves. Many years later, when we were both old, the garden in front of the house became where we often sat together each evening, quietly watching time flow by in the gentle sunset. Bella leaned her head on my shoulder, smiling, saying, Do you know? I've never stopped feeling lucky to have found you. I only softly replied, Me too.